Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
Toxie, you are always my best friend.
Thanks.
Please welcome Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D.
Welcome to The Good, The Bad, and The Sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor, someone involved that made the film worth watching. And the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Really hope you enjoyed last week's interview with Scream Queen Debbie Rochon. We talked about all the amazing movies she's been in over the years, her roles in a lot of the trauma movies, like this week's sequel, Toxic Avenger IV, and then especially I loved her story about being an extra during the bar scene in Vampire's Kiss. So if you haven't checked that out, go back after this, check out that interview. But now we have to talk about probably the oddest movie I've ever seen. This is in the realm of terror tunes, right?
Something like that. But yeah, I definitely have not seen a movie like this ever.
I never thought I would see a movie like this. And one of my favorite comments was on the YouTube, like free video. The first comment on there was by a guy that his picture looked very odd, but his comment hit home in a way, I guess. It said, I'd rather watch this than porn. And while watching the movie, I was like, there's more boobs in this than in a porno movie.
I don't even know what category to put this movie in. Is it a horror movie? Is it a soft porn? Is it a comedy? Is it a combination of all of them? Because, well, there's no comedy to me. We'll get into the movie, but I absolutely hated this movie. I feel like I feel dirty. I feel extremely dirty after watching this movie.
And that's the voice of my co-host on this magic carpet ride of movie watching. And that's Jamie Riccardi. We're doing this in studio in my little studio shed. So yeah, we're back in person for the first time since Super Babies and Munchie.
And you would think that, it would only get better from there. And it definitely does not. This movie, I saw the original a long time ago, and I know what that movie was. I looked up a lot of reviews for this movie. Basically, all the reviews love the movie. The people that love Toxic Avenger, they love this movie. And I'm negative on a lot of movies. I hated this movie. It took me five times to watch it.
Yes. And the fact that, we'll get right into it. So the beginning of the movie, it's pretty cool because I don't remember the first one as much. I remember when I talked to Patrick Kilpatrick, I watched his scenes, but I don't remember this being set in New Jersey. And the fact that in the beginning it says New Jersey's first superhero, and we're recording this on September 12th. In the movie, you see the opening shot is the Twin Towers with Toxic Avenger right behind them.
Well, isn't the tagline the toxic waste capital of the world or something like that? I mean, so, and I just happened to move to New Jersey, so I'm looking forward to that.
They just have to trash New Jersey whenever they can.
I'm amazed at how many cameos are in this crap fest, because I mean I get it, Corey Feldman, he makes a lot of B movies, but Stan Lee starting off the movie was amazing. What made him? He must owe someone a favor.
I think some of these people admired Lloyd Kaufman. His story is sort of like Roger Corman-ish. He had something that he wrote a movie and didn't get credit, which is kind of what Roger Corman did. So he started doing his own. And I think when Debbie talked about it in the interview, she said it's this little community of these people. They don't get put up in hotels. They stay in abandoned buses or so it's this guerrilla filming. And this is something I'm going to mention later, but I'll mention now. I don't think there's one shot in this movie that was a second take.
I don't think they should have been a first take, to be honest with you. Terror Tunes was an extremely bizarre movie. This is bizarre in such a weird way. I wasn't kidding. It might be one of the most offensive movies I have ever seen, that I almost feel awkward talking about the movie because I don't know how to explain some of the things that I've seen because it's so offensive.
I wrote down I'll have to tiptoe a lot and just say things. And then if you're listening to this, it's not our words. It was in the movie. We're just reporting. We're like the news. We're like the Sklar brothers who for some reason are creepy news reporters.
Well, I think they're creepy comedians to begin with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I think they fit this role. I'm not a big fan of theirs. You probably like them.
I used to like cheap seats on ESPN Classic. They used to do that, and they used to like watch like old bad sports. No, I thought that was funny, but no, they were really weird. And then, like again, they were super offensive, and
the whole movie. I mean, I like I said, I'm trying to think of a way to tiptoe around the main focus of what this movie is, because I mean, once we get to the school, I don't know how to talk about what we saw. Like and I'm not lying, I felt dirty watching this movie.
So yeah, we'll get into that. But just before that, isn't it weird? I don't know if Lloyd Kaufman did Toxie Avenger 2 or 3, or if a studio did it and someone else, because the first line in the middle, in the beginning, it says 2 rotten sequels that were made. Sorry about that. This is the real sequel.
Now, I've never seen the second or third one, but if this is the good one, I can't imagine how bad 2 and 3 were.
Yeah. So then right into it, the problematic school having a very problematic Mexican celebration day. And Debbie Rochon is the pregnant teacher. She plays, I believe it's Miss Wiener is her role in this movie.
Excuse me, Miss Wiener.
Toxie, you are always my best student.
Thanks.
Well, yes. So it is Mexican Day. It's bring a Mexican to school or lunch. Like, I mean, like, again, they had Mexican lunch, but there were a lot of Mexicans there. Like, it was like they were bringing a Mexican to school. Like, that was part of the day.
And the eating of the food and just, again, these people in this school, I don't know what word, they're special. And in this school, they are eating, like, I love Mexican food. This was like the grossest Mexican food that they were eating in this classroom.
Yeah. And yes, they are special, but they made it to the extreme, which I guess for this film, for the filmmakers, was a running gag throughout the whole movie, because not even just a school, but they use the term special, the more offensive term, multiple times.
Yes.
And yes, they're eating like chili and stuff with their hands. So it's all over their face and like digging in like it's dog food.
It was like dog food. And how about the one guy's jerking off to a magazine that says over 50?
Well, he does explain that. He says because he's special, he's never going to have a girlfriend. So why can't he do that?
Oh, that was Tito?
That was.
Oh, that was Tito.
It was. And he's in the middle of he's in the middle of a classroom doing this. So, he has a reason why. So yes, we don't find his name is Tito until later on when he mentions Toto.
Yeah. So then, right from there, we get a gang of people that are dressed like babies. So think of the typical baby Halloween costume that a man would wear to work. It's weird. But think of that, and boom, a whole gang is taking over the special school.
Weren't they called the Dirty Diaper Gang or something?
Yeah, the
Dirty Diaper, right? Okay, so the Dirty Diaper Gang. That's, if you could come up with any kind of gang name, would you think Dirty Diapers would be one of them? Like, that's... Like, can you be taken seriously if, yes, we're you're coming to, try out for the Dirty Diaper Gang. I mean, I don't know if you can, how serious that could be.
I hope that was a placeholder name. And then they were like, all right, let's get the name out there. Hey, Frank. And Frank's like, sorry, I already sent the email to the news. That's our new name. Because no, it is not only the worst name, but right from the get-go, then you have one of the women with her gigantic boobs out, the largest boobs that might have been on screen besides Terror Toons 3, the boob that took over the town. But this one, and is knocking out one of the special people with it.
Yeah, that was that her weapon of choice?
I think so.
Because if I'm going to get hit with something, that's probably the one thing I would want to get hit with. I think some other ones had some other weapons. Maybe, I don't know if there was a baseball bat or there was something else or a mop or something. But she's using her boob as a weapon, smacking him multiple times. And he wasn't going out. So,
No.
I That was a poor choice for a weapon.
It was, and it actually works out for another one of the special kids later, because when he is basically, we see him only like 4 or 5 times, and the whole time he has a naked woman over him, and he's having sex with her. And that is in the movie, this whole scene, there's a random cut to 2 people that don't matter.
All right. We got to cut to the chase here. So there's a lot of sex in this movie. There's a lot of nudity in this movie. Is this considered soft porn?
Oh,
it has to be, right?
It's sexploitation. This is like, we thought we saw boobs when we saw like Sorority House Massacre 2. And no, this movie, it's throughout the movie. And like, I don't know, I feel kind of creepy when it's not just like when it's like a flash and you're like, oh, like in Meatballs 3 when they pull the girl's top down on then you're like, oh, that's great. But then it's like, okay, can you put a shirt on? Really?
Yeah, no, this movie, they just literally throw it in your face, you know, and it just again, that's part of the offensiveness. I mean, I think the women, to be fair, they're offensive to everybody.
Yeah.
So they're not just picking on one, stereotype. They're picking on everybody.
And then right from there, we talked about the Sklar brothers, and they talk about the news. That's where they dropped the Dirty Diaper Mafia. And then they're being weird. The one bit that I thought could have been funnier throughout the whole movie, it's like a running gag, is when the Sklar brothers cut to the guy and he has like he's like, he's going to show superheroes how to buy jeans or something.
Yeah. That was a running gag throughout the whole movie. I feel like it didn't hit. I mean, it could have, and but yeah, it was, yeah.
And then we get the Hitler mustache cop outside.
Oh my goodness.
That was like,
well, it gets even worse towards the end.
Oh, I know.
But yes, you got a Hitler cop mustache. You also have Cindy Tata, right? Wasn't she one of the reporters?
Yeah.
Cindy Tata. I mean.
So then the gang says they're going to what are even their demands? What did they? Oh, they wanted the bikini news.
Yes.
That's what it was.
That's Cindy Tata.
That was Cindy Tata. Yeah. Or was it?
Wasn't it Cindy?
No.
Oh.
It was Cindy.
Oh. Yes, true.
Well, we get to that.
Well, we also have Ron Jeremy here. Also.
Yes, as the mayor of this town. And it's funny because he's very creepy in this. And then in recent years, he was arrested for like raping women. So
shocker.
It kind of tracks because in this movie, he grabs one of the girls and she gives this look like this isn't in the script.
Well, he's also praying throughout the whole movie. So, which makes it even weirder because he is a creep, And I mean, the cameos in this are just insane.
Yes. And now that you just mentioned the praying throughout the movie, we could talk about it now. But one of my favorite jokes in this movie was when he was praying and he's like, God, please just give me a sign. And you saw the shadow of the cross. Some of the gags that they were going for, because I'm sure Lloyd was like, influenced by like the Mel Brookses. So there's like very few jokes in this movie, but there are some of the ones that are like right on the nose that are like,
no, definitely. I think the problem is though, you're still trying to get the filth off you from what you just saw. So when they throw a joke at you that should land, it doesn't land because you're still like, you're still amazed at what you just saw before that.
Yeah. No, we'll talk about what I would love from this movie at the end. But so then we get the Lemmy.
Yes.
From Motorhead is not only in this movie once, he's in this movie multiple times. And then another time as a different person. So he's Lemmy in this movie. And then he's like man in a suit in one shot.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, and again, we've been mentioning cameos. A lot of times they have cameos that are all kind of in the same kind of trope. They have cameos that are like, where did they get him from? How did he get in here? They have Hank the Angry Dwarf in here. Like, it's just so bizarre that the cameos that they have James Gunn.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's so weird of how people must have owed a lot of favors.
Well, I think James Gunn was a fan of, I forgot what he did in the 90s. Somebody I interviewed. Dude, Eli Roth is in this movie.
Yeah. And so is Hugh Hefner. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Corey, but this movie's made for Corey Feldman.
Oh.
So, I mean, and the role he played is such a Corey Feldman type role.
The last cameo, because I have a list of them, is Kevin Eastman. I wouldn't really know what he looks like. I've seen documentaries on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was one of the creators, but he's in this movie.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, like the range they had.
So then we have Debbie, who's Miss Wiener. She's pregnant. They're stringing her up, and they are about to like open her up like a piñata.
They're about to kill the baby. They're basically about to do an abortion on this woman who's pregnant, and they're stringing her up, hanging from the ceiling. You know what? Why is her name Mrs. Wiener? Like they're really like. I mean, as a funny name, obviously Wiener's always a funny word, but like it doesn't fit with her. Like I thought there would be something more to it.
But you know what? Maybe there's a Donnie Wiener or David Wiener's watching this movie, and he's like, "Dad, look, they use our name in a movie."
So what if they like, I mean, I went to school with like a Jason Wiener, I believe. And Jason, if you're listening, you know, shout out to you. But do you think like there are parents out there that name their son Richard?
Oh, I would hope so.
So you'd be like Dick Wiener?
Dick Wiener? I would hope so. Hope so.
Or that, you know, you have that that other one, Harry?
Harry Wiener, Oscar Wiener. Just do them all.
We're on
Texas
a roll.
Wiener?
I don't know about Texas. That's Oscar Wiener. That'd be going.
So then we mentioned it, the hot bikini girl. Or is she? She shows up smoking hot. She interviews the leader of the dirty diaper mafia. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, you're the #1 news in the world." And he's like really excited. "Turn the camera on. I got to get my message." And then you have a very fat guy that's the cameraman, which is one of my favorite guys in the movie. And I almost made a shirt for it to put the L on there.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the fat guy, he looks very familiar. I mean, I guess a lot of fat
he
guys
looks like Don Vito. He looks like Bam Margera's Uncle Don.
Yeah, he does, I guess. Yeah, I mean, he kind of reminded me of Newman. I mean, not as fat as, I mean, Newman's definitely not as fat, but his face a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, he was pretty funny.
But when you see the guy, the diaper mafia guy, going to grab the bikini girl, and the bikini girl grabs his arm. Oh, no, the diaper guy's about to hit the baby with the stick. And she stops. She, ? Goes to grab it, and then I know her. The guy's skin starts burning, and you're like, "What's happening?"
I thought this was going in a different direction that it turned out to.
What did you think?
We were going to see a female version. Wow, that's what I thought was happening. I mean, why would I think otherwise? I mean, all right, we're gonna get. I mean, okay, so obviously his skin's falling off. There is like squeezing, he's hurting him, and you see like her arm changing, like you're getting all stronger or whatever, and sure enough, turns into Toxie.
Toxic Avenger.
Now, I'm not familiar with his superpowers. I'm not sure that I didn't know one of them was that he can transform into anybody he wants. I don't think that was one of them because he doesn't do it the rest of the movie.
No, he doesn't. And it's almost like, it's not even like he transformed. It's like it was like a bikini news girl. Yeah, like a costume because he was like ripping and stuff. But no, the fact that it was him that came up and then he just starts, how about one guy starts shitting his pants?
Oh.
There's a lot of
there's a lot of poop. There's definitely a lot of poop jokes. No, what about the guy so he basically goes on a rampage and starts beating and tearing these guys up. Like, there's one guy he lifts upside down, slams his head into the ground. His head shoots up and comes out of his ass. And he's still talking.
That guy was so funny because it's almost like his Toxic Avenger is like the Batman of the city. So that he was like almost excited to see him. And his head comes out of his own ass.
Listen, that was very creative, I guess. Throughout the movie, there's a lot of kills that are like that. Oh, you have the clip?
Oh. Who's his morbidly obese partner? The cameraman. Lard ass.
Oh.
Lard ass was unbelievable. He used this a loaf of bread.
He fights with and doesn't he have like sausage nunchucks or something?
Yeah.
Later on, like yeah, to me, he definitely gets a little gross later on.
Oh, very
when
gross.
He's sitting in his But I mean, that little clip just shows you a little something of what to expect the rest of the movie.
Yeah, no, exactly. When he has the sausage nunchucks, and yeah,
I feel like there had to be so much improving throughout the whole movie of just like grabbing whatever's around in the room, saying whatever. I mean, I don't even know what the script is. I mean, I don't know even like, I understand like the basis of the storyline, which we haven't gotten to yet. But the rest of the movie, like the dialogues and everything, I think half of them were made up.
Oh, I think all.
Especially like Kabuki or whatever his name
Sergeant
is. Okay.
Kabuki?
He, without a doubt, had to make up half the stuff.
You mean Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D? I love that they named him. Dude, I don't know if he's in the other movies or what he's from, but he was unbelievable crazy.
Yeah, he was, I mean, this movie's bizarre. It's so bizarre. Like, you know, I really like the characters that come out later on and just the kills and like the creative process to make this movie is, I want to know, I would love to sit at the table and hear the thoughts that came out. Cause it's out of control.
They probably shot this, cause I know they shoot a lot of these pretty quick, but man, it must be within a week. Like really, like, cause there were probably one takes. Most of it's ad libs. So there's no flubbing lines. And I don't know if there's anything difficult. Even like the blood and stuff, it's more like just like pouring it.
No, yeah, you know, there were some like peeling of the face of one of them. I mean, the guy's head going through his ass. Yeah. I mean, like there were definitely some that were, I would say, pretty good special effects, but most of them, you're right, were like pouring. Yeah.
And how about the main diaper guy? So Toxie, after that guy like pretty much murders every special person in the school, Toxie goes and a lot of gut ripping and organ ripping in the movie. He rips all the guy's organs out, and they go, well, if his heart stops, then that bomb's attached to my heart.
We forgot about that. So he says if he gets killed, there's a bomb that goes off.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So that's what. So I guess Toxie wasn't paying attention to that.
He was not.
Yes. So he pulled out all his organs, and then they said if his heart stops, so then he shoves the organs back in the guy's body. So that guy swallowed a bomb? Is that what it was?
I guess so.
I mean, which is possible considering what Lardass does.
Oh. And the fact that, so when that guy mentions that about the bomb, how about that bomb, 5 seconds till detonation? The longest, it was 5 minutes of watching.
Well, they do a lot of like slow takes, like the guy that crap his diaper. They literally, you see it like starting from the beginning. And then it slowly drips down his leg, and like it's like a child. It was an infant that, if you've ever seen change a dirty diaper, this is what the guy did. And yeah,
just the sound effects in this movie, the pooping sound effects, the grunting. There's a lot of grunting like throughout this movie.
Well, okay. So, the voice of Toxic Avenger, I can't stand because he, like you said, he grunts throughout the whole movie. Like an animal or a monster, yet he has the most distinguished voice when he speaks.
What the hell is going on here?
It's like the voice is not fit. Like it's like, do you think that's the guy that's underneath the mask? Do you think that's his voice, or is it like going in there?
No. Claire, I'm home. It was like 5 seconds, and he like, for some reason, the first thing he'd do is say, oh crap, did he have a clock off?
Oh, wait a second. So so he ran home during this bomb situation.
During the 5 seconds.
Oh, right. Cause he goes home cause he is married. I guess, I don't know if he's married in the other movies.
I don't know, but she's blind.
She's blind. Which, well, that makes sense. He's like a Rocky Dennis.
Yeah.
You know, to her. And so, but he has I guess maybe they were trying to have a baby. Or they were trying to have a baby.
Yeah. So that was his time.
He knew he had to run home and do a quick one. Which it was very quick.
It had to be, because it was less than a second.
That 5 seconds was, like you said, easily like almost 10 minutes.
Yeah. Because even the first second, that's when he sharpened a man's own finger and shoved it through his eye. And then he finds a mop, and then he runs, and then you hear the timer go 4. And then even at this part, isn't this when he finds, oh no. This is when he just goes home.
Yes.
To sleep with his wife. And then, how about when he orgasmed?
Oh.
He barfed all over her.
Well, but he's a Toxic Avenger. Maybe that's how they do it.
I guess.
She was, okay, so she was blind, but why did she act like she was special also? Like, I mean, like, right? I mean, like, she wasn't acting normal.
She wasn't. She was like, oh.
I mean, like, it's almost like if you're blind, then you have to be special when you speak.
That was not funny, Lloyd Kaufman, to do that.
I did like her, though.
Yeah. No, she was.
I mean, have you ever seen her or anything, or no?
No, I don't think she's been in anything but
I'm surprised.
Probably
I mean,
these-
based on her acting chops in this movie, I'm surprised no one picked her up.
Are you talking about her acting chops as being blind or being deaf? Because she does that in A Tromaville, which we'll get to.
That
soon.
is true. But somehow when she's deaf, though, they make her look hideous.
Oh yeah, her teeth.
Yeah. I don't know how that changes because it's supposed to be the, alt reality or alt, like.
It wouldn't make sense if you. Oh, I guess if you're blind, you wait. No, it would be the opposite. If she's blind, then she should be messy in the Tromaville, and then at Tromaville, when she could see, she should look pretty.
Well, the opposite should be that if she's blind in one, she could see in the other. I mean, I would assume that would be the opposite, but no, they make her deaf.
That's funny. So this is the first time that we see Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D. and I don't remember. I don't think he's in any of the other ones.
I like I said, I don't remember the first one at all.
I only remember from the first one. It was either from the movie or from the cartoon, because there was a cartoon in Toys. There was the guy that it looked like he was like half rat, and he wore like a helicopter like helmet, and he had one missing leg, and he had like a roller skate. I remember having that toy as a kid.
It was a kid's. Wait, so it was a kid's cartoon?
Yeah. Well, Rambo was a kid's cartoon, and RoboCop. So.
Yeah, but I mean, based on the sexploitation of what Toxic Avenger is, how do you make a cartoon for kids out of it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he kind of looks like the Thing from Fantastic Four. Like his face is all like rocky, like rock.
Maybe that's why Stan Lee was in it. He was like, "You're gonna pay me, you son of a bitch."
Okay, maybe.
Are there buddies?
Wait, isn't Fantastic Four DC? If there's any, comic book nerds.
You're about to say nerd. Oh, at least you prefaced comic book.
Well, comic book. I don't mean nerds in general. I mean, listen, if you're a nerd, Toxic Avenger was a nerd and became a superhero.
He was Melvin, right?
Melvin makes a cameo.
Oh my gosh. So then Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D. he's drinking a pint of vodka, like hiding. So he's one of the other the superheroes in this town.
Wait, so he's drinking a vodka, but he also kind of takes advantage of a woman. Well, after he does, right? Is that the same?
Later.
Scene? No.
Oh no, he does. He tries to grab the news reporter.
And he brings her into the game with her.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's definitely a creeper. He might be the creepiest one in this movie. I mean,
I think
so. There's a lot of creepy people, but he's like a hidden creep.
Yeah, because you expect him to be good because he's a super, and
Right.
what he does to Toxie, which we'll get into. But no, so then the next scene
goodness.
is when Toxie finally he gets back. He talks to Tito for a few minutes while Tito's shooting up heroin in the bathroom for some reason.
Oh yeah, he had a heart to heart with him.
It was like a PSA. It was a little PSA.
I hated Tito. I absolutely hated his character. I mean, again, he was special also, and he really played it over. But like, just his character was not likable at all.
And he played it to even more offensive.
Oh, very, yeah.
So when he gets back, so lard ass thinks, hey, this is what I'm going to do to save the day. He's going to eat this bomb. And then Toxic even says, your stomach's strong, but not that strong. And then he eats it, and everybody gets out of the school in time. He farts, and everything's fine. He saves the day until the special kid and the naked blonde got done having sex, and they wanted to smoke a cigarette.
Yep. and kablooey.
Kablooey.
But see, when he blew, I expected it to be like more body part. Like it looked like it was like blocks of the building that he was like looking at. But like I expected it to be like a really gross. I mean, as gross as this movie is, they could have made that gross.
And then the cops at this point. So this is where the cops start shooting at Toxie.
Yeah, I mean, which I don't understand because he's the town superhero, right?
It makes no sense at all.
But I mean, Toxie does kill a lot of humans in this movie. I mean, he runs basically behind these people, the crowd that are waiting outside while the cops are shooting at him. So they killed all those people.
Yeah, that's true. But no, just the fact that, like you said, he's the superhero of the town. They're shooting at him. But later, when we get into, well, we can talk about it. So then after this, he leaves, right?
Yep, he leaves.
He's like,
he's on the run.
Yeah,
because he knows they're trying to kill him.
But is he already in?
See, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense
because he this whole
movie.
No,
that does make sense.
Why?
Wait,
because they're shooting at him, but then
No, it does make sense because he's bad in. So what happened was when that bomb goes off, this may make sense. If you're listening, you're like, come on, just get to it. It's the interdimensional travel that Chester knows later in the movie. But so Toxic goes to a Tromaville, which is like opposite.
So he's running out of the same building, but he's bad
in.
So they just switched places? So it's like Freaky Friday?
Yes, it is Freaky Friday, but with Toxic Avenger.
And Noxie,
which is very offensive because before he spoke, I really thought it was going to be a very racist thing. Because he was wearing black, he had the big chain, he was carrying himself different. And then when he spoke, I'm like, okay, good. It's just the same actor, just with a
scratchy voice.
Yeah.
With a scratchy voice.
That's all it was.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
But the next scene, because that's what makes sense, is when the Noxie comes out and they're like, yay!
So when Toxie came out, you thought he was coming out of the regular building.
Yes.
And then he didn't understand why the cops are shooting at him.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why I was even confused at this point, because I wrote a second Toxie's coming out of the building. How is there two in the same town? But they're not two in the same town. One's in Tromaville, one's in a Tromaville. But one part, a gag that I did really like. So when Noxie comes out and everybody's cheering for him and because he's evil, he just starts murdering everyone. And I love that there was the two guys at the population sign subtracting the number. Like it was 15,000. And then by the time, at the end, it was like 12,500. So he killed a lot.
That's such a Naked Gun joke.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they I don't know. I think I was just hating this movie so much that even the jokes that were sort of funny, I was like, all right, let's get to the next scene. Because I literally stopped this movie 5 times. I'm like, all right, I need a break. I need to wash my eyes out and I need to take a walk. And then I came back. So.
And then you came back to Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D. He picks up Toxie. He's like, get in. And that's bad, Sergeant Kabukiman.
But he's a different Kabuki because he doesn't have the red on his face.
Oh.
He only has the white on his face. Because I guess white and red are two opposites.
I didn't even notice that. That's some detailed watching.
He didn't have the red. He didn't look like the same Kabuki. So yeah.
There's so much going on. There's Kabukiman. There's Toxic Avenger. They're shooting at him. I didn't know what to think.
I got you. Okay.
This whole part, and then there's a chase, and you thought he was Sergeant Kabukiman, but I'm like, man, that Sergeant Kabuki was drunk. But I love another gag that's Naked Gun airplane-ish is with the old lady that's shaking to get across the street.
Oh, man.
And when she finally gets to the sidewalk, he runs her over.
Well, they almost hit her the first time.
Yeah.
And then the cars turn around and she's on the sidewalk this time. And that's when they hit her. Yeah. And no, not only hit her, they ran her over and crushed her face. They crushed her skull, smushed it.
And then she's shaking. They even get out and look at her. She's shaking, bleeding, and farting.
She farted too?
She was farting. I guess gas.
Well, I think when you die, you're supposed to get the gas out. I think, right? Isn't that a fact or something?
Well, you know what, Christine, and you probably know with the people that
he's a fart expert.
Well, no, it's the people that work at the morgue that pick up the bodies. So I guess bodies fart.
I think I thought I heard it somewhere, or I didn't hear the farts, but I read it somewhere that when you die, I guess all the gas that's inside your body has to come out somehow. And a lot of times either they crap on a table or they fart. They fart it out. But I wonder, if there's so much gas in you, do you think, you lose weight? Like it kind of deflate the body?
Maybe lard ass, when he
weighs 90 pounds afterwards? Listen, someone like him, because he's massive.
Oh.
He's so big. There's a lot of gas in there.
Oh, my God. He wouldn't fit in an incinerator. He's really that big. That guy's so large.
He is. Yeah. He's the kind of guy that when he sits on a chair, on a recliner, it looks like he's got a table in front of him and it's only his stomach. Not even his stomach. It's like his lower half of his body. That's like he could use as a table.
Yeah. Then later there's a very gross scene with yeah. There's a few gross scenes with him. Just with him. So then we cut to it seems like we're watching like scientific footage because we see this not Stephen Hawking with 4 naked women trying to talk about, some like, I think he starts to talk about interdimensional travel.
He starts to, and again, this is the James Gunn. So that was James.
That was James
Gunn.
God.
So that was James Gunn, and he takes Stephen Hawking's disability to another level as well. Like he makes it, again, very offensive the way he's doing it. But yeah, he starts talking about it, but then doesn't someone describe it and he couldn't get it out or something like that? Because he says, you could have let me explain it.
I don't know if that was, I guess there was that part. The next thing that my mind focused on was you're like, this guy's a genius. He's talking about this very important thing. And the hot bikini girl's like, but you can't get a hard on.
Does he die in this part or no? Or is he in more than one scene? No.
Well, he's in more than one scene.
Oh,
he's laying down on the ground later.
Okay.
Sergeant Kabukiman goes through and runs him over.
I think so. Maybe that's when he was explaining it or something. Or it was a point where he was annoyed that he couldn't explain his own theory or whatever.
And then he just talked about to the girls. He was like, no, I have something that I can pump it up.
Yep.
About his penis. Yes. She's like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, why are they with him? Why are they with him? They're just going to make fun of him.
He's got a lot of money.
You think so?
He's a genius. He's a scientist. You don't think scientists make a lot of money?
I don't know. Do they make more than like Eli Manning? Or?
Okay. Well, based on the girls in this movie and the guys that hook up with, it seems like in these worlds, you could be in anybody and you'll have hot girls near you.
Or he's hung like a horse. Well, I guess he's not.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work, though. I mean, he could be hung like a horse, but it doesn't work. It kind of defeats the purpose.
That's like telling a girl, I got a 69 Dodge Viper in the garage.
But it's no gas.
Boy, you can sit in it. That's not fun. So then, God. And then this is where I realized, like, this isn't even the same place. And, God, there's just so much.
One thing we forgot. So, I wrote it down here. Just a funny line. So when Toxie comes out and he starts killing everybody and he starts killing the cops, he rips the cops' arms off.
Yes.
And they said to him, well, first of all, he rips the guy's arms off and starts beating the cop up with his own arms. And then someone, I don't remember who said it in the crowd, said, look out, he's armed. As he's holding the 2 arms.
Yeah.
I just had to say that.
There's another funny line from that scene. So we'll talk about it now. So in that scene, Debbie comes out when after he beats everybody up and kills them and leaves, because he even picks up like a little girl, throws her against a brick wall.
I wasn't sure if they really kill, he kills his little girl.
Yeah.
Like mauls her against the wall, yeah.
But Debbie comes out and she's like, no, everyone, Toxie's nice. He saved me and my unborn baby. And then one guy yells from the crowd and he goes, yeah, heroes don't double amputee police chiefs and throw 11-year-old girls into a wall. That was so great. Like, some of those jokes are really funny, but I don't know. I just think they didn't have to do a lot of the gross stuff.
No, that was the whole point. Just so over the top. I mean, there's a scene where they pull a guy's tongue out. I think Toxic Avenger does. He pulls which is like the longest tongue ever.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gross. But the James Gunn played Dr. Flem. Dr. Flem Hutchins. I guess instead of Hawkins.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So
then in the Tromaville. Yes.
Wait, which one's Tromaville? The
Tromaville's
the regular one.
Is the regular one? Yeah, a Tromaville. I guess is like maybe opposite.
Well, isn't Trauma or Trump the guy that made the movie? Or
Lloyd Kaufman. It's Trauma Films.
Okay.
So Toxie runs into the leader of the diaper gang. He's like, "Hey, I thought, that's the guy who rips his tongue out."
Yes.
Yeah. Because everyone's so different. He's like, hey, weren't you wearing diapers? And he's like, what are you talking about wearing diapers? So in that world, they were still bad.
Well, of course.
But wouldn't they be the opposite?
There's no opposite in this movie. there really is nothing that's opposite. Like, what's opposite? So in one case, you have a good opposite to a bad. Another one, you have deaf to a blind. You have really they have red face to white face. I mean, so I just think they make it up as they go along.
I think they do too.
So opposite would be not wearing diapers.
Yes. So they go to, Toxie goes, I have to go to my house. They go to the toxic waste dump. His house isn't there. But how did the pregnancy test get there is there was his bagged lunch that had the urine sample.
Right.
And the sandwich with, why would he let his wife make him a sandwich?
Well, first of all, look what he looks like. He's a garbage. He's a walking garbage disposal. I mean, so I don't think it really matters what he eats. He probably does eat garbage. So, that was like a normal day. But how about the fact that he called her, hey, sweetie. And then he goes, oh yeah, it's okay, honey. The other special girl that's with them. And he goes, I've been calling you Sweetie Honey. What's your name? Sweetie Honey.
That was just weird. She was like very like Gilda. She looked like Gilda Radner.
She did. I mean, I could tolerate her more than I could Tito.
Oh, I hate it.
Because after he said Sweetie Honey, and then he goes, oh, it looks like we're not in Kansas anymore. Right, Toto? Or something like that. And he goes, my name is Tito.
Oh, that's so great. No, but the fact that, the reason I mention it is because it's so weird. Like, again, there's no rules, the opposite, but the sandwich was there and she starts to eat it and the Braille pregnancy test is in it. And it says in Braille, you're pregnant. So in my head, I'm like, she's not pregnant because it's opposite, right? Wouldn't they have found the thing it'd be opposite? But no, later in the movie, it's not.
Well, why would the result be opposite?
I don't know. Everything else is.
Nothing's opposite. What are you talking about? There's nothing that's opposite. I mean, it's just bizarro. I would say it's more bizarro world than opposite world.
Oh man. So then Mayor Ron Jeremy, when he puts together the new superhero team.
Oh man.
The group of people that are in there, the vibrating woman. I like Dolphin Man, and he didn't do much. I was hoping for something. He did nothing.
Well, you had Dolphin Man, you had Master Bader, who's a rapper.
Oh my god!
So okay, the names. So you had the Vibrator, Dolphin Man, Mad Cowboy,
yeah.
who has milky udders, and you had So what were their superpowers?
Oh, I don't know.
Because they didn't Dolphin Boy, and then he goes. Yeah, he's great, but there's no water nearby, so he's kind of useless.
That was funny. And then Sergeant Kabukiman was there. But no, Masturbator, when he came out, he was like rapping and then he started masturbating and he came all over two girls in the front row.
Oh.
So are all these I think all the extras in these movies are like fans.
Probably.
I think they do it more like, hey, we're going to shoot this movie. Do you guys want to be in it? Because there was like a lot of extras that were probably just like.
So do these roles are considered like real roles? Like,
yeah.
So they're in SAG?
Yeah, they're in SAG.
Do you think SAG's disappointed? I mean, you think like someone like Leonardo DiCaprio is like, listen, I worked my ass off to get here. I pick and choose my roles. I do one movie a year. I haven't even gotten an Oscar yet. And I got these jabronis coming in here and they're also in my club. I wonder if like real actors get annoyed.
I would hope that the guy who plays Lardass, his last name is like DiCaprio, and they have to wait in line together like at anything. And it's just them two chit-chatting about getting into a role. Leo talks about like, oh man, I didn't shower for months to be in The Revenant. And it's like, well, I just ate a lot of sandwiches.
Well, you know what? He also looks like someone that looks like he has a hard time walking. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's massive. And when he's sitting on a chair, I mean, he's huge. So I wonder also how he get, like, when they ask, like, looking for someone like him, did they say, like, listen, we need the fattest person possible for this role? like, do you get offended by that?
I would hope so.
I mean, and by the way, your name is Lardass. What if this guy's been trying to lose weight all this time and now he's got to be called Lardass when he's been made fun of his whole life for being fat?
He's like, man, why not get paid for it?
Listen, he does hook up with she's ugly. Yeah, but she was ugly.
He does. Well, he does. And he saves the day, I guess, right? Well, I guess everybody still how does a bomb exploding his stomach from the gases from his fart cause interdimensional travel?
Well, I would assume someone his size, a fart will be lethal regardless if there's a bomb in there. So I think it just adds extra.
So then Toxie back in Tromaville, he is he sees an ad and it's about like plastic surgery. So after he sees that, then he sees another very offensive thing, a black guy.
Oh my goodness.
Getting dragged by a truck. I think the black guy was the funniest guy in the movie.
You know what? Was this before in Living Color? Right? No,
this one's way after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the black guy became, well, we'll get there, but the head detective.
The head detective, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he had a funny part of this movie, but that scene again, it was unnecessary. I mean, it was so offensive.
But then he gave Toxie the opportunity to beat the crap out of the guy, and then he burns him so bad
on the engine,
and then they drop him off at a KKK rally.
Well, yeah, because he was dark then. So, yeah. Well, he goes, "I know what to do with him," or something. Yeah.
But his line when he's just ahead, when they slam on the brakes because Toxie runs and catches up and the car stops, it's just ahead. And the black guy goes, "It's okay. I'm used to having nobody behind me." Being a black man in America.
All right. So why is he still alive yet Toxie rips off multiple heads in this movie and they're all dead? Because the dummies that are used in this movie, I mean, when they're carrying the head around, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
It almost looks like they might have borrowed one from Death Wish 4.
Yes. Trejo's head.
Unbelievable. Like it literally, the dummies in this movie are so obvious. Like to me, that was the funniest part, seeing the dummies.
Yeah.
That was,
And then I love the head is just like, every time they did the close up, it was a dummy head. And then they do the close up and beat him talking. So Toxie takes him to the plastic surgery center. And again, there's naked people all around. And there's a girl who's talking, but it's definitely a male voiceover. Like it's not a girl throwing that voice. But Toxie goes, "Can you help my friend get a body?" She goes, "Wow, he's ugly. Who you calling ugly, bitch?" I love him.
No, he was, you know what? I just wish he had a bigger role. Because he had like his parts here and there, but I'd rather see him than Tito.
Yes. And I love how sassy he was with Tito and how he's not opposite at all. Because he's the same in Tromaville.
Yeah.
Later in the movie.
But he has a body though.
He has a body. That's what I mean.
Oh, so wait. So he loses his body in the bad world.
In the bad world, yeah.
Okay. I got you.
They're racist.
Yeah, but okay. You're right. Okay.
Because Tito's like, "Hey, you look familiar." Oh, he says his name. I forget.
Yeah, but he's also gay in the real world.
Oh, he wasn't gay in this one?
He came across more flamboyant in the real world.
When he was the doctor?
He was flirting with Toxie.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He wasn't. I mean, there was no flirting when he was just ahead.
Well, then right after this, they throw him in a bucket of wieners. Or they're going to make him wieners.
They're going to make... There's a lot of wieners in this movie.
There's a lot of wieners in this movie. But there isn't actually... The only wiener that we see in this movie...
No, there's like 2 wieners.
Real wieners?
Yes.
Oh, I missed
There was the old man in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Which was unnecessary, So, yeah. And there was another one, I think, earlier.
Well, there was Sergeant Kabukiman, but that was like a...
Well, there's also a monster
plastic
wiener.
one. Oh, my God.
So, yeah. There's a couple wieners.
There is, yeah. So then Toxie finds Tromaville's lard ass. Then we find out it's Chester, and he knows about interdimensional travel. And then he goes, "Hey, you know what? Let me tell you that I have a lab. It's about 4 houses up on the right? Like it happened to be the mansion where all the bad guys were right there. Oh no, that was Noxie's hangout.
I guess because I guess. But see, okay. Toxie became Toxie because he fell in toxic waste.
Yeah.
You're telling me someone fell in toxic waste in his world also? That wouldn't be opposite. That'd be the same exact thing.
What would be the opposite of falling in toxic waste? Not falling in toxic waste?
Having someone that was a monster turn into a human.
Oh.
Because if he's Noxie, he's the exact same thing. So I think it's more Bizarro, like in Seinfeld when they had Bizarro Jerry.
Yep.
They were the exact same character, just they looked kind of similar.
That makes sense.
That's probably what it is. So it's not opposites, it's Bizarro world.
So then Noxie is sometimes some of these things could have been autocorrect. This might be Toxie, but I think this is the part. They're both at the same time. These things are happening, but Noxie goes home because that Hitler guy picked him up.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a bad guy. We could be friends now." And he drops him off at his house. And when he goes in, he sees his wife, but he has a girl with him,
You
right?
see, again, a lot of this does not make sense. So, yeah. So, and he didn't recognize her either. He didn't recognize her as his wife, Toxie.
Exactly. He should have been like, "Oh, you look like the girl."
So I don't think that
dead
was his
in-
home. I just think that was
Just something.
they just dropped him off. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But when Noxie is about to have a threesome and his blind wife gets felt up by a girl with blue hair,
Where'd she come from?
I don't know. That's what I mean. I was trying to think of if she was just waiting outside the toxic waste.
Yeah, there was that like.
Oh,
that,
I know what. I think she was, and she said, "I'm a huge fan." There was like groupies outside. He's like, "Here, come inside with me." And then that weird part was happening, and then they're about to have sex, and then he pulls his wiener out, and we only see a shadow at this point, right?
Correct.
And it's large, like very, like not real. And the girl gets so scared, she runs naked out of the house.
Well, they had to show boobs again,
They had a show.
and then she's running down the street naked.
Yeah. And then at the same part, this is where we see, it's like right at the same time, Claire, who we talked about earlier, who's now deaf, has bad teeth, when she's talking to Toxie.
She has an interpreter
Oh my God.
who's topless.
Topless for the first time. And then every other time we saw her, she wasn't interpreting. One time she's reading a book, and another time she's like eating food or something.
Yeah, I mean, but why would she be topless?
Lloyd
Because in Bizarro World she has clothes.
Kaufman says, "Why not?"
Well, I think because when they have an interpreter, no one really pays attention. You know, when you're watching TV and you see I mean, even now, no one really looks at the person. So they figure, right, if I take my shirt off, more people will be watching me do what I'm doing.
That'd be nice. I wouldn't mind watching
So-
like the
right.
nightly news.
So there you go. Now you'd be watching more.
Man, this is great shit.
Listen, that's all it takes. Have the woman take her top off. You'll pay attention more. So QVC, if you're paying attention, more guys will be watching. Although I've seen some of the women on there. I don't think you want to take the tops off.
So then one of the lines that before we talked about the whole scene, but one line that I wrote down that Noxie said, he said, "Is your starfish ready for my chunky dick snot?"
Yeah, the definitely quality writing in this movie. I mean, that's probably something I've thought I've never hear ever in my life. And this movie, if there are like certain lines or words that you thought you would never hear, it's probably in this movie.
And then just like, because again, we are kind of figuring out that it's like opposite, like with everyone, but like Sergeant Kabukiman, he's talking to Claire in a Tromaville and trying to get Toxie out of that room because the one guy is trying to like have sex with Toxie from behind when gets pushed onto Claire.
And he doesn't stop. But he's wearing clothes.
Yeah. And he's being like nice about it.
But was there penetration?
I don't know if
Because there's a few times that happens in this movie by accident, but they're wearing clothes. So I don't know if they're like, yeah, it's weird because he acted like he was in.
Yeah, he did act like he was in, and Toxie was like, "Hey, buddy, get off!" Like in his like superhero.
But it
voice.
does happen to Toxie a few times.
It does, yeah. The one at the end of the movie, that was like, it's funny because I forgot about that throwaway line that they said, that Chester says, and then it happens.
Yep.
But no, even Sergeant Kabukiman comes in, and he looks at Claire and he says, "You read sign language, right? Well, feel this." And then he punches her in the face, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Just some of the lines that are in this. But Sergeant Kabukiman, some of the stuff that he does in this movie.
Oh.
And then we see the translator again. This time she's smoking a cigarette.
Like I feel like the translator is like an airplane joke. Like it's just ongoing. What is she going to do next, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
And then this is when we talked about the mayor, Ron Jeremy's praying, the shadow over him. And then afterwards, Toxie walks up. Noxie walks up with a cross and throws it through his head. Right in his throat.
That was pretty good graphics. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, some of the graphics were good. I mean, the budget, what the budget was for this movie?
$500,000?
Was it really?
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right.
I guess you can do something with that.
Yeah. Definitely not. So, okay. So if it's $500,000, how much did like Stan Lee, Corey Feldman, like all these cameos, they had to get paid peanuts.
Or they're doing favors because that's what people do in Hollywood.
What kind of favors?
Well, maybe.
I mean, based on a movie like this, it could be a lot of things.
God. So then now, because Noxie killed the mayor, I'm not a political expert, but I don't think if you kill the mayor of a town, then you become mayor, because Noxie becomes mayor. Like instantly on the news, they report the Sklar brothers say, "Oh, and this is our new mayor, Noxie." After,
well, this is in Bizarre World, right?
No, this is
the real
in
world.
Trauma.
That's right. It's true.
This is the Bizarre World. And then we get Toxie in the other world. He's beating the shit out of Sergeant Kabukiman in a Traumaville because, oh my gosh.
But they're friends, though.
Not in a Traumaville. Is in a Traumaville, Sergeant Kabukiman's a bad guy, and he thinks that Toxie's a bad guy. So Toxie stops him from when he hits Claire.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
So this is when we get an all-out fight scene inside. Yeah. I wrote down, this is a better fight scene when we covered RoboCop.
So, yeah. So he's fighting. First of all, he fights with multiple body parts.
Yes.
Like he uses a head. He uses his arms, legs that are laying around. Like this is, I mean, he goes on a tear here.
Yeah, literally. He goes on a tear.
He does.
He beats up Sergeant Kabukiman, and then he beats up Mad Cowboy.
So he puts Cowboy into a grinder.
Oh, I love that.
And as they're grinding him, he comes out with packaged meat. So he had packaged, I think, sausage links, and they were packaged steaks, and as they're grinding them.
Yeah. That was great. And then we have the nunchucks. Who had the nunchucks? I guess that must have been Sergeant Kabukiman, because that's when Toxie found the mop.
Oh, man.
That's like what saved him, because he found his mop, which I thought the mop had more powers.
How strong? What kind of powers did mop?
I have no idea.
But how strong is that mop? It's a mop. I mean, you know how many mops I break or brooms I break when I'm just like cleaning, and he's like fighting people and they never break.
Why do you clean so angry?
I don't clean angry, but I mean, at least I clean enough that you never broke a mop before.
I don't think I've ever broken a mop.
The bristles start going all over the place when you're using the broom.
Do you do that so your wife just says, "Jamie, no, just don't ever clean again. I got it."
You shouldn't be saying this so she can hear. She probably doesn't listen to my podcast anyway. So go ahead.
It's like Dane Cook when he talks about going down on a girl. And he's like, and then I start punching her. And she's like, no, you know what? I'm fine. I'll do it myself. But no, so that scene.
Dane Cook hasn't been relevant in years, and now you just brought him back up.
I brought him back. But no, the whole scene with the fighting, and yeah, I enjoyed that more than RoboCop. And I bet you, because you saw how sloppy some of the moves were at points, that's like one take. But I'm like, you know what? I'll say it now. This movie, I hated the whole opposite thing, but I guess it could have worked somehow. But I would have loved to just see Toxic Avenger and his like other superheroes, maybe not like Vibrator or Masturbator, but the other two, I don't know, go against the bad guy.
See, I think the first movie, he was more on a tear. Like I don't remember the first movie at all, but I think he was just killing left and right. Like, I feel like there was too much storyline in this movie and not enough taken off in arms.
I feel like my head's getting torn trying to figure out what's a Traumaville and what's Traumaville like this whole time.
Yeah, no.
And then you have Mr. Head. They're all tied up. And he helps and he cheats. Because Tito found Mr. Head in the bucket of hot dogs. So he saved them.
Yep.
But at that point, who kidnapped them? Oh, Sergeant Poop.
Well, no, wasn't it the Hitler cop?
Oh, that's who had him.
Yeah, because they save him later on. So yeah, so no. Well, is this before or after the naked party?
Oh, it's right around here.
Okay.
The naked party when he becomes mayor, it's all black and white.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I have. No, that's pretty close. But just before this, so this is when Mr. Head chews through the ropes and Tito gets away. So
it was Tito's idea.
Yes.
So yeah. So no. Yeah. See, I hate just again. I don't know. I hated, but they became friends. They were like that. Like they were like a Batman and Robin.
They were. This wasn't when they were the Hitler cop. This was, I think, the people at the hot dog thing because they get away.
You're right. Because they were gonna grind them also.
Yes, that's what it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they were cannibals.
And one of his lines when Tito's getting ready to leave, a very problematic line. He goes, "You help that special retarded girl right now." I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, they it's
a lot.
It's a lot. No, it is. It's a lot, you know. Yeah. But the sad thing is, like, you know, listen, years ago, that word was thrown around
All
left
the
and
time.
right.
Movies,
100%.
everything.
So now it's like when you hear it, it's like, yeesh.
2001 when this came out. Oh my God, this movie came out in 2001.
I can't believe
And they
it.
had the Twin Towers in the opening shot.
It came out. You sure 2001?
2000 or 2001.
That's
I'll
crazy.
double check.
Wow.
So then let's talk about that scene because I like the scene with Toxie when I just think the special effects and the randomness of him like ripping the chief's arms, but the one in the black and white when he's having like
with the eyes. Oh my goodness.
when the art he takes the guy's eyes out and does the art,
Yeah.
and I love the voiceover like, oh, looking good, Toxie. How about Julie Strains in this movie, who is in Sorority House Massacre 2?
Okay.
She was the one that Psycho Cop shot in the head.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't say that. Oh no, he snapped her neck.
Snapped
I
her
said I
neck.
wouldn't shoot her. But she's in this. She's another like B movie legend for horror. But how about the one guy goes, I could die in these breasts. And then Toxic comes over and smashes her boobs.
Listen, like, there's worse ways to die. I mean, again, if you had a choice to die by stabbing or breast, I go breast.
Breast is the breast choice. And that gets you probably right into porn heaven.
That's
Probably.
could be. So, wasn't there also a face peel?
There was a face peel.
And he goes, "That's what I call a facelift."
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he pulled the face of the woman from her neck, lifted the skin up almost like worse than Poltergeist.
Yeah, and in this whole scene, it's like people are dying from Toxie, but the other people don't care because they're enjoying the party still and not like running.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, one runs, right? Because Kabuki makes a comment saying a derogatory term for someone. I can't even say it. So forget it. Never mind. Skip it. I can't.
Well, let's just say it was very offensive. But no, because then right after we cut from this, we have the superheroes in their even has a sign behind them that like super hideout.
Yeah.
Super secret hideout. You have all of them hanging out. And then Mad Cowboy has a
speech.
a great speech. We can't understand it.
Yeah.
That's really nice, masturbator. But fuck that. I'm not going to die. Not in Jersey. No, I'm getting the hell out of here.
But people are they're nodding with it and clapping for him. And then that changed pretty quick because right from there, you're thinking something's going to happen. No, they walk out of the room and then they all get murdered. We don't even, right? We don't see any
They
of
get
it.
murdered, and then Kabuki, I think, is coming up. He's got to pee. Right? To me, this is the point where Kabuki just goes off the rails.
Well, he's off the rails.
Oh, he's already off the rails, but
In Tromaville, I would think he's a pretty big time superhero. He's friends with Toxie.
Right.
He's drunk this whole movie.
yeah, he is.
What happened to him?
You
the
know,
day before this?
he actually, it's so dumb, but his character is kind of funny, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's just so out of control.
And I love that every time they said it, they said Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D.
Yeah.
Like it was always the mouthful, and they never took like any shortcuts with it.
Yeah.
So then we have from here, this is when he's leaving and he's drunk. He's leaving town. He ends up on Claire's house and he goes, I have to find somewhere to pee, which I don't think there's a bathroom in that house.
It was only like one room.
Yeah.
It was a shack. It looked like a shack. First of all, she's blind, so she has no idea how big the house is.
True.
And wouldn't it make it easier if there's only one room if she's blind?
It would make it easier. That is true.
But it looked like a shack. I mean, from the outside, it looked very small.
But wouldn't he saves this town all the time. Couldn't they like pitch in money? I guess he prefers to live there, but couldn't he like stack it up a little higher?
Listen, his house looks like Shrek's house.
It is like Shrek's house.
And he looks like Shrek, so
Maybe this inspired Shrek.
it's very possible.
But yeah, so Sergeant Kabuki's peeing, then he hears a sound.
He pees in the corner of the kitchen, I think it was.
Yeah, and then he realizes Claire's on the bed,
Oh, wait,
tied
he
up.
turns around with a fake penis.
Yes. Which I really thought I was going to see. I'm like, oh, I'm happy I missed the other ones.
Yeah.
But the fact that when he turns and you just see this like bright white fake penis just dangling.
Ding dangling?
Ding dangling. So then oh man.
Well, he doesn't know what he's doing. Does he know what he's doing at this point yet? Or he lays next to her first, right?
Well, he's on top of her,
but he's like past that. Like he's
and then he
passing
falls
out.
asleep.
Okay.
Or is he sleeping?
We find out.
And then we get Chester. This is like the first like really gross time. Like really, really gross time that you see him.
This scene was not needed. It was, well, you know what it is? We saw Chester when Toxie came down to Drug Alley. There was like an alley with all drug addicts.
Yeah.
And we missed that part. And Chester talks about, doesn't he mention something like this?
Oh, he talks about, he sucks dick for money.
For I guess for drugs or whatever. So that was something he mentioned, but they kind of show you what he does for money.
Yeah, and he doesn't even get money. He gets a pie, and then when the guy...
Well, I mean, for a fat guy, that is like money.
And then he had it all over his lips. And then when the guy leaves, he has a sheriff's jacket on. He's like, all right, same time tomorrow? He's just eating this pie in the saddest way possible.
Does he eat the pie?
Yeah, he starts eating.
Oh, because I thought she sat on it. Or was it another pie? Remember?
Maybe it's more than one pie.
Because there was a pie sitting on the chair when she comes home and she sits on it and he gets upset. I thought he was getting upset because she sat on the pie.
Man, I'm sure he got upset if there was a pie that got wasted, but I think he'd still eat it no matter what. Okay. I don't think he would stop.
Okay.
I wrote, Chester's even getting laid in this movie because when Toxie gets him and Deaf Cleric together, she starts blowing raspberries on his belly and starts feeling where...
Well, she rips his shirt open and you see boobs. I mean, you might as well go with the rest of the movie. And in fact, he probably has bigger boobs than everybody else in the movie. So, it was gross. It was a gross scene. Listen, we saw heads being torn off. We saw faces being lifted up. We saw a guy's head go through his ass. And this might have been the grossest scene.
She goes, honey, do you still have the cheese? And he's like, of course I do. And I thought he was going to he was licking her feet. And I thought he was going to rub the cheese. No, he was taking bites of the cheese and then licking her feet. And I was like, I had to think back to another gross, not gross, but confusing, but the popcorn scene in Troll 2, eating corn to turn,
yeah, I'll take that over what because I don't understand what they were going for the cheese and the foot thing. Is it because they both smell the same?
Yes. So.
Or toe cheese?
Toe cheese? I guess maybe they were going with some that route. I guess, and then now cut to Corey Feldman playing Claire's doctor because she starts feeling like there's something in her stomach.
And even this pattern of scenes that are coming up are so offensive.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. So yeah, she's going there he's he's a baby doctor? Or what kind of doctor is he?
I don't know if he said anything.
I mean, he probably was just the janitor who threw on a lab coat every time a woman comes in.
And with his mustache. Yes. He an old I guess not like the Marx Brothers, but he had that weird big mustache. Again, he has three were they naked behind him?
No, they weren't.
Oh, okay.
But I'm surprised because, knowing him, they should have been.
Yeah. But that scene was just so weird because he's like, don't worry about it. Here's what's going to... Oh, no. This is when she right away... No, he's getting a blowjob the whole time. He's talking
to... That's right. You're right.
Oh, my God. Yeah, because he's not acting even weird. And then,
Right. Yeah. You're right. All right. Right. Because then you see her stand up.
Yes.
But you don't see her at first.
No, you don't see her at all.
All right.
And then he's talking about what she should do. And then he's the one who proposes that it's good versus evil inside of her body. Yeah. Because he goes, here's two vials that we took from the babies.
You have two. Well, it was it looked like almost two, like the red pill and blue pill in Matrix. And there were two, it was a red vial and a blue one. And one is if you explode, this is what happens if you have the baby. You're either going to explode or you have to abort the baby.
Yes.
And so she had to think about it. She's either going to explode or abort the baby.
Yeah. It was they start fighting inside. And when they said that line that the babies will fight inside, I'm like, okay, just no. They fight inside.
So you're going to say no, they're not going to go there. No. Oh, they go there.
Yes, they do. So he sends he sends Claire to go to, because he talks about there's 2 different babies from 2 different dads.
Right.
And how about just when she's leaving, the nurse turns around and says, "Doctor, do you think it's time to remove the thermometer from my ass?"
Again, it wasn't like the scene was over. It was just like another throw-in, you know.
And then the abortion clinic, because the only part that was funny.
Well, before she goes there, she gets paint thrown on her.
Yeah, by the people out
Yeah, the people that were protesting. So she's now bleeding, or she's red paint all over her body and face.
And she goes into the room, and the nurse starts explaining to her that this is what we're going to use, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, they're actually pretty cool. And then the doctor that comes in, who looked like super familiar, he looked like a guy that was in like a ton of stuff maybe back in the day. He goes to sit down, and the forceps or whatever are stuck in his ass.
No, he falls. No. He listens to the baby, her stomach.
Oh, it punches him.
The stomach punches him.
Yes.
And he falls backwards, and a lot of things slide in when people are wearing clothes, though, because he's wearing pants. But he basically sits on it, and it goes right up.
That is true.
And he gets mad at the nurse, I guess, because she left it out.
Yes. I forgot about the baby when he's listening really close,
yeah.
and you see the little fist come out and punch. Oh my gosh. Strong babies there. But the next scene, when the doctor leaves and he dies, I didn't want to talk about the first time you heard the overweight black nurse, because she's really funny in this scene. But the last time you hear her line, when the doctor like crawls out, he's dead. He has the trail of his like anus, his intestines.
It would. Yeah, I guess it would be his intestine. I guess his anus, because I guess had to be his anus. So wait, so that would happen. So unless maybe she opened it while it's in there and then pulled it out, because he's dragging like a tail, his anus hanging out of his pants.
When she answered the phone, Tromaville Abortion Clinic, how may I help you? Oh, sorry, the doctor just died of rectal hemorrhages. Want me to send you to his voicemail? So Chester's super happy at this point. He goes, Toxie, I want to send you back to your dimension. So what he does is he goes, I know a lab that we could work in. They go to the one, and James Gunn is still dead on the ground as fake, Dr. Stephen Hawking. And we get an 80s montage in this movie when they're like cleaning up the lab and trying to figure things out.
Well, I'm okay with that.
You are? Okay. But were you okay watching a montage and the result wasn't a time machine? Oh. It wasn't anything. It was ginormous red ruby slippers.
And they milked this joke a few times. So they literally milked this, because later on, there's no place like home. There's, they couldn't think of anything else. At this point, they probably could not think of anything else. They're like, listen, we've thrown so much garbage out there and so much weird stuff. Let's just make it easy. And, we've been here all day. Ruby slippers. Let's just do Wizard of Oz, and that's it.
And what'd you think about Tito? He wants to stay in a Tromaville and be the retarded revenger. He wants to stay and be a superhero. So he learned from Toxie. Toxie inspired him.
Yeah. So, and Head stays with him, right?
Head does stay with him.
So do you think Head stays his head? Like, is it like the head detective and he uses him as like a weapon, or does he get a body?
He doesn't need a body. He doesn't need nobody. He has Tito behind him now.
Nobody. No.
But yeah, and then he says, there's no place like Tromaville. So then I love when Chester says, hey, just want to let you know, it's either you're going to go to Tromaville or you're going to get sent to a 1970s gay porn set.
What do you think is going to happen? Wait, does he go to heaven first, or is it the gay? No, he goes to the gay set first.
No, porn set first, and he's in the position.
So he's thrust literally right into the action.
Yes. And for a gay porn, there's 2 naked women that are like making out now. Oh, I guess
in the background.
Yeah.
For the men out there that are not gay, I guess. But yeah, he's thrust, and again, he's wearing pants again. So it's not like it wasn't like naked. So I don't know what kind of pants he's wearing, but yeah, he was definitely in the middle of the action.
Jesus Christ. And then right from there, somehow it works that it's not like Chester said, it's either you might have to take a stop at a gay porn set. He says either or, but then from there, somehow he gets teleported. He's back in his own bed.
No, he goes to heaven.
Oh, he goes to heaven.
So he clicks. So clicking his heels is the time machine.
It is.
The transporter.
Yeah.
That's when he goes to heaven and he meets Hank the Angry Dwarf.
When I saw it, I go, "Is that Hank?"
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't seen him since when.
Well, he's dead now.
He is dead now. We used to get coffee on
So
Tuesdays.
is Lourdes, by the way.
Ah.
Well, you surprised? I mean, the size of him, he's lucky he lived as long as he did.
That is true.
So,
but seeing Hank just brought it back, like this nostalgia from like watching the Howard Stern show. But man, he's a piece in this movie.
he's definitely a piece. And you know what? Listen, he was loving it. I mean, listen, for not an actor, he did a pretty good job.
He was just himself. He
literally was himself.
How about his like angel, I guess?
Yeah.
Was like, what about Bob Smith? And he's like, I don't know, give him cancer. I'm like, whoa, man. Super offensive.
Yeah.
And is that what heaven looks like? Because heaven was like a parking lot. And
Well, I'm hoping it's not, because if God looks like Hank the Angry Dwarf, I don't want to go. So,
but that was just so funny that, oh my God, the fact that he does that. And how about his line when he goes, all right, Toxie, you can go back, but you got to make sure you kick some ass of all the bad people. Tell the Pope he doesn't know me and his hat looks stupid.
so dumb.
Oh, now he's in his bed and he rolls over and he goes, you were there? And Sergeant Kabukiman.
He was not. No, he goes, and he was there, and he goes, but you were not there, and then you were not like he.
Yeah.
So only two people were there. So, but they're still running with the Wizard of Oz joke.
Yes.
So stupid.
And then he asks about, okay, we got to get all the superheroes together, and we got to make sure we take out this not you that is killing everybody in the town. And he goes, well, I'm the only one that's left. What? They killed Mad Cowboy? Yeah. Vibrator Girl? Yeah. And then when he says, don't tell me they killed Dolphin Man. And he goes, yeah. And him and Dolphin Man had something because he was that's the one he stopped and he started like.
So, you think they had like a relationship?
Oh. Maybe they fought crime together for years.
Oh, I thought you meant like a relationship.
Oh.
So you're saying they fought crime, not that they were dated.
Not that they dated.
Aren't dolphins like unisex?
They are. So, oh yeah, I guess.
Are they?
I think so. Wait. Oh no, they're unisex. They can change. I know that. Is that unisex?
Wait, they can change from a man to a woman?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Look it up.
A dolphin, if it decided, like, you know what? I feel like being a woman today. They could change. And then they're like, you know what? I want to go back to being a boy dolphin. And they can change anytime they want.
Yeah.
What?
If there's any dolphin scientists, that's Eagles only on Twitter.
Like, do you think, like, would you do that? If you could be like, you know what? I want to be a woman today.
I would love to feel my own boobs in that way.
Yeah, but what if like, part of that is like you have the same size that you have now?
Oh, well, that wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be fun at all. Or if I was Chester or Lardass, then it could be. No, I guess that wouldn't be fun either.
No, because then they would be really sloppy.
Yeah. not good. So Sergeant Kabukiman, who is pissed drunk at this time, he's trying to get the special girl drunk.
Well, he has no morals. I mean, this whole movie, we could see that Kabuki is a creeper.
He is, and you would hope he wouldn't be because he's one of the few superheroes in the town.
Well, he's a cop. Isn't he a cop?
I don't know if he's a cop.
Do you think he just gave himself that title?
Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D? I don't know.
See, I would like to see a spin-off of Kabukiman.
Oh, so you're a fan of Kabuki.
Well, if anyone, he's just such a weird character that, I'd like to see how he started that way. Like, was he born, well, yes, he was.
Does he have a face or is that his face?
Well, he has to, no, I think that is his face. We find out later on.
Oh, yeah.
So watching this whole movie, I'm thinking like it was a mask. But then like, all right, that's okay, never.
So then Claire is being held up in the hospital and like Toxie and Hitler Cop guy are taking over the hospital. So then Toxie has to go in there and he just has to beat up all the Hitler
clean house and then go to his wife who's pregnant. So she's having a difficult pregnancy right now because, because you can see that she's struggling a little bit. We don't know why.
Yes.
Okay. And this is where he just hauls ass right now.
There's so many fight scenes, so we can't break them all down. But the one joke that was airplane-ish was when he goes, I really wish there was a hospital map around here.
Oh, yeah.
And then he sees the hospital map and it says, you are here. Claire is here. Bad guys are here. And I thought that was pretty funny.
But this is when the naked old man ran out. He ran with there was a woman, and he had like, I don't know if he had like a gown on, but like when Toxic started going there and the fighting started, he just ran down the hall. It was a naked old man. You see everything, and he was running down the hall. It was so unnecessary.
So the first time Noxie and Toxie see each other was in Claire's room, and his first line to Toxie is, yeah, I fucked her. That was the first thing you'd say. I don't know, would you say that to somebody, like your enemy, and you slept with their wife? Would you be like, yeah, I fucked her?
Well, I would think that would pump them up. So yeah, I would not.
That's true.
But I mean, he's he's also a creeper. So I mean, I think that's something like, it's his trophy. He's brandishing his trophy in front of him. You know, like, instead of saying I'm a black belt, this is what I did, But I mean, were the babies fighting yet or no?
Oh, no, that's the next part that I was going to mention.
Okay.
So when they cut into the womb and they show that there's two different looking babies, and you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird looking. And then when they start fighting on the outside and inside the womb, the two babies are fighting.
They look like they're doing the same moves that they were doing on the outside.
It was.
So they were mimicking their moves.
How'd mops get in her womb? How are there mops in there?
That was a pretty impressive. Yeah. Well, there were small mops. I mean, they were in her stomach. So how big were the mops? So yeah. So,
and then Toxie. Oh yeah, we see his penis. So we see his penis, and it looked like. I guess it looked like aliens.
Like tremors.
Yeah, tremors. Yeah.
I would say it looked like a tremor, because he turns around. Why did he say that? I forget why that happened, but yeah, he turns around and. Oh no! Did he say he's gonna do him and he's gonna? What did he say? He said there's a reason why the monster came out.
Yeah. Oh no, he was gonna have sex with Toxie. He was gonna.
So is he gay?
No, maybe
just
some dominance. No, he had him in a chokehold.
Okay, you're right.
From behind,
right? And then the monster comes out and it looks like a tremor worm.
Yes,
with teeth and everything.
And Toxie quickly grabs a pump.
No, I think it hits him once. The monster penis does hit him because it comes back out. It's like a little blood. So it does. I think it might have like scratched the surface.
Oh shit, dude, that's amazing. But yeah, no, he like starts pumping up Noxie, and then he just starts ripping him up.
Well, he pumps up because he has a penis pump.
Yeah,
Noxie, right? Okay, so but it didn't seem to be getting any bigger. Like I thought it would be like what we saw in Terror Toons. Like I thought it'd be like a big, like monster. It wasn't. Nothing. It just explodes. I guess. And you see like it guts all over the place. Like,
And then from inside of there, Melvin, who
the
is
original
toxic.
Melvin.
Yeah. Who is Toxic Avenger is somehow inside. So is there a Melvin inside of?
Well, she called him Melvin at the end of the movie. Well, Melvin is Toxic Avenger.
No, I know what I'm saying, but if he blew himself up, wouldn't that get rid of all the toxic waste?
Oh, I would assume I would also just kill him. I mean, so it's not like it's a shell of a Toxic Avenger over Melvin. So that part did not make sense. But he looked exactly the same.
He did.
And this movie's what, 20, 30 years?
25 years.
25 years. He looked exactly the same. So I think that was, for a movie like this, is a pretty good throwback to the original, just to have Melvin there.
15 years. I did math wrong.
It's only 15 years?
15 years.
All right, never mind.
Not impressive. You don't look good enough, Melvin.
Forget it. But so it's not like it's a shell of a body over him. So that would make no sense. Like if he blew up, Melvin should have blew up.
That is true. And he's like an evil Melvin, because then he's about to do something. And then Toxie throws him out the window. And I swear it looks like the same footage from the original movie. His origin story when he falls into the toxic waste.
See, I thought they were going to add more. Like, so he falls back into toxic waste?
Yeah.
So does it become Noxie again?
I guess. So he didn't really kill him. And then at that point, I think it might have even happened already. The fetuses are fighting.
Yes.
And when Toxie wins, the Toxie baby fetus wins and like stomps the baby's head in.
Which doesn't make sense because she still delivers two babies.
Where's Sergeant Kabukiman baby? So
that's what I'm saying. So there were triplets? Because they don't mention that at all. They said two babies. So there's something wrong.
Maybe Feldman wasn't a good enough doctor. And he didn't
or he's not good at math and he just.
Or where the hell did they put? Wait, a baby wouldn't come out in a day for Kabukiman.
Well, what's the time frame? This could have been a year later.
I hope not. Oh my
Don't forget,
God.
Melvin was also on fire.
Yes. Oh yeah, he was running away. Yeah. And it looked like everybody that was watching wasn't even extras.
Yeah.
They were just like bystanders that were there.
Yeah.
Because they looked concerned. So then we have.
Wait, wasn't there a LaQuisha baby? There was a baby named LaQuisha.
Yeah, that was Debbie Rashawn's baby.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Yeah,
that was Miss Wiener's
baby. Okay.
So then we have the baby. When the baby finally comes out, the baby Toxie, and that is like, it's 60 pounds, 6 ounces, and it looks like absolutely frightening.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Unbelievable. And the fact that the special girl, Toxie goes, "Oh, you're becoming such a big girl." And she's like, "Yeah, I am." And Sergeant Kabukiman says, "I'm a big girl." And I'm like, wow.
See, I thought that she would have been pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but so now the doctor brings in another baby wrapped up. You don't see anything. And I guess they're all assuming it's Noxie's. And Toxie has a nice little speech saying, "Listen, we're going to love it no matter what. It doesn't matter how hideous the baby is or whatever." And then you see the face of everybody when you see the baby. You don't see the baby yet.
And it is Sergeant Kabukiman N.Y.P.D.
See, that was funny.
It was.
Because that was so unexpected. Like that. And the minute I was wondering, I wasn't thinking it was his. I was just thinking, like, what can his baby possibly look like? Because they all had the face. But I thought that was a pretty funny thing.
I love that. And then there was when Toxie looked and was like, "Pompey, you have your body back." And he's like, "I don't know who you are. I've been having my body the whole time."
Yeah.
Just give him shit.
But he made like a gay reference. Like, "Oh, we'll meet later on," or something like that's why he's a different, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, he was into him.
Yeah, he was. I said he was.
Yeah. He was hitting on Toxie.
Right.
That's what it was. Yeah. So that, and then it ends with Toxie chasing Sergeant Kabukiman.
Correct. There was an end credit scene where the two guys in the news. I think they did another news. I sat there and I'm like, all right, there's got to be something. And I forgot what they talked about, but it was the two brothers.
I saw a Lloyd Kaufman scene. Maybe that was after that. Oh yeah, they did have a scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when the bit was.
About the guy that they keep talking about.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, Jerry's going to take these superheroes shopping.
Yeah.
No, but then after that, Lloyd Kaufman was in the movie running around in his underwear, and then there was a Lloyd Kaufman. There's two of them, one with a mustache, and then
yes,
and then it says, "Make sure you recycle your bottles."
I saw that. Well, because they said that because it's happening all over the world. They said of the alternate reality, and people meeting their doppelganger is what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it said, "Kill your doppelganger."
Yeah.
Oh my God. So that was Toxic Avenger 4, Citizen Toxie. Jamie, I could see your reaction because we're next to each other in the studio.
Ugh.
Would you recommend this movie?
No, not at all. It was exhausting. It was an exhausting movie to watch. I felt dirty watching it. I had to watch it 5 times to get through it. It was horrible. Okay, first of all, I looked it up. Now, Caddyshack 2 is 6 on the Rotten Tomatoes.
That's too high.
This was 60. 60. I don't know how this is 60 on the Rotten Tomatoes.
Was it the audience score?
Yeah.
Well, if it's the audience score, it's not critics. Critics probably didn't watch this.
Critics might have been up in 30s maybe. Okay, but even that, I mean, Son of the Mask has got to be below this. Those are two movies that, as horrible as they are, I can sit there and watch it again if I had to.
Yeah.
This one, I would not want to sit through again. I would, even if I was tortured, I would give up all information if I didn't have to watch this. So no, I would not want to watch this again, and I would not recommend it.
Yeah, I hate not recommending things, but if there was a cut of this movie that had less, I know you're saying, Doug, what's wrong with you? 12-year-old me would be punching future me. There's just too much boobs.
There aren't too many movies that you would not recommend. So this is up there now. This is on the list.
Yeah, I like Lord Ass. There was a best of Lord Ass video on YouTube. I'd watch that because he was funny in his scenes.
You can't. You know what? look up a scene, and you'll understand. One scene will explain why you should never watch the movie. Again, Kabuki Man, just what he looks like is ridiculous. I mean, they had funny parts. When I say funny, it's, a little, it was just okay. I mean, it just definitely not. It's done.
Yeah,
never.
This is our one offbeat of our, our third annual, scary sequel month, because this one it's scary because you get squeamish from the poop stuff, but it's not scary. But it's a good little palate cleanser.
No, I think it's scary I think the only thing that's scary about it is the fact that it was made.
Oh man,
and that people like it. So I mean, literally, if you go to YouTube and you type in the trailer, every single comment they love. They love this movie. They think it's the best Toxic Avenger, and it's definitely better than the other two, which I can't imagine how bad the other two are. But yeah. So
all right, well, it's over. You can I
gotta shower now.
Wash your eyes out. All right, so the next sequel up is Bride of Re-Animator, which is so cool because that movie twofold for us. It is another one of those very unique horror movies, but it's a big cult classic. We interviewed director Brian Yuzna, who, man, his story was so cool because he worked on all these legendary, big time, B horror movies over the years. And then boom, he writes with his buddy. They wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which was to me, mind blowing. The fact that he did all these really scary, gory, bloody, and the movie Society. And then boom, take it down a notch, a kids movie.
Well, I mean, listen, you know what? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had some scary moments.
It's scary. The whole concept of it is scary. So
I can see that.
And Kathleen Kinmont, who's going to be our guest in 2 weeks, she is the bride. She plays Gloria in this movie. So you'll love Brian's story. And directors, I love them to death. They have a lot to tell. So it's I think it's the longest interview ever. And it's packed with some great behind the scenes. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
But fuck that. I'm not going to die. Not in Jersey. No, I'm getting the hell out of here.